My darling. I'm looking forward to seeing you today, honey. Hey, Mom. What do you mean? I don't think we have plans to meet today. Oh, stop it, Benny. Good one. I'm for real, Mom. I'm not even at home right now. I won't be back till like midnight tonight. I'm out with Claire. Benny! Yes? I told you that the move is today. What move? Mom, for real. I'd call you, but it's really loud out here. Just text me to explain this. What's going on? Are you okay? Benny, I told you that I'm moving all of my things to live with you and Claire. I told you last month. You remember that, right? No. I told you. I know I did. But I thought that was a joke. You made it sound like it was one anyway. Either way, you're not moving in with us. Oh, no. Benny, dear. Listen to your mommy, all right? You've just forgotten, and that's okay. Stop saying that. What have I forgotten? You're just being brainwashed. But Mommy's here. It's okay. Brainwashed? Mom, what are you talking about? I don't have time for this. I'm busy. What the hell is this about? You're being brainwashed by Claire, so I'm coming to help you. What the hell are you talking about? Do you mean Claire as in my wife? Why, yes. Who else? Well, I don't know, do I? You're talking about some weird stuff here. I have to make sure what you're talking about. So you agree with me, right? About being brainwashed? Yes. No! I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not being brainwashed by anyone. Are you okay? Have you been drinking again? Darling. Calm down now. No, I'm totally sober. It'll all be okay. Mommy's here. Mom! You're acting like an airhead. Cut it out. I'm not being brainwashed by Claire or anyone. Why would you say that about her? And I don't need your help on anything. And I'm not your Benny anymore, so stop calling me that. I know everything, honey. I know why you won't come back home as much as you used to. It's all her fault. She's controlling you, and Mommy knows. Stop calling yourself that. I hate it. And what do you mean by that? I try to go back to see you and Dad whenever I can, and you know that. Claire has nothing to do with it. Oh, darling. But you used to come here so much more frequently. So Claire must be involved in this. I'm assuming she's the reason why you don't come to see Mommy or Daddy anymore. It's that evil cow, isn't it? No, it's not, Mom. That's not true at all. And don't talk about her like that. Please, have some respect for her, will you? Oh, psht! Respect! She's the one that needs to respect your wishes. What do you mean, my wishes? Well, I know how much you actually want to come back home, honey. You know you miss my apple pie and all of my home-cooked dishes that you grew up with. Whoa, hold on, Mom. The reason why I haven't been back as much this month is 'cause I've been ridiculously busy. I changed roles this year, and my work has been pretty demanding, alright? I do miss you, and I'll try to go back as much as I can. I told Dad the same thing, too. I promise. Oh. Well, when are you next coming back? Like I told Dad as well. I'm not sure because it depends on my work. But I'll go back as soon as I can find the time. Okay. Well, I miss you dearly. Yes, I miss you too. Is that it, Mom? I'm busy here and I need to get going. Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you today. Oh man, not this again. I just want to help you, my love. There's no need to protect that conniving witch anymore. She's no good for you, dear. Mom! What is wrong with you? I'm just so upset, dear. Mom, I'm sorry that you're upset. I am. But you've got nothing to be upset about. Honest. Really, Mom. Well, darling, I'm still heading over to yours. So I'll be there soon, okay? We can talk more then. No, Mom. Is she telling you to be mean to me? Is she the one texting me instead of you? No. How can I believe that? Claire's getting us a drink and I'm just at a table at the food court waiting for her. Well, I trust you, my Benny. Enough with the Bennies and mommies already. Ugh, I'm not a teenager or a kid anymore. All right. Well, I know I never told you this before, but sometimes she bullies me, you know. Bullies you? Claire? Are you having a laugh? She would never do that. She wouldn't even hurt a fly. Well, she does, dear. And I don't know what you find so funny. Aren't you worried about me? Well, if anything, I would think that you're the one who would be bullying her. You always talk crap about her to me. I know you despise her, ever since I first introduced you guys, so I wouldn't be surprised if you did. Oh, please. I would never do that to my darling son's wife. I would never dare. Well, I know some of the horrible things you've said to her while I was away. About her cooking and the way she does the housework. You're always criticizing her and complaining about her. I've heard it all from her, you know. So she's incompetent and a liar. How sneaky. Gosh, I told you she's not good for you, darling. No, Mom. You're the one who has this all wrong. Claire is too nice and she respects you. That's why she won't say anything back to you. She doesn't want to hurt you. But you obviously don't care about her the same way she does. Oh, please. She makes me sound like I'm the villain here. I'm the victim, honey. The victim! Oh, jeez. I had this conversation with Dad, too, the other day. He agrees with me. He thinks you don't treat her well. At all. Well, your dad would say that, wouldn't he? He has an eye for anyone blonde, doesn't he? What's that supposed to mean, Mom? That's wrong. Well, look. He didn't want to come with me to move in with you. So it'll just be me for a while. Until I can convince him to join me soon. I hope that's okay, dear. What the hell? Are you actually serious? I keep telling you. The movers have already picked up my boxes and they should be heading over to yours now as we speak. What about Dad? You can't leave him alone in the house. He'll be fine. He'll manage. It'll be just me and you, Benny. Benny and Mommy, like the good old days. I'm so excited. I told you not to call me that anymore. And Mom, you're insane! Oh, well, don't worry. I haven't forgotten about Claire. I meant to say that it'll be just you and me and that evil cow, Claire. Mom, I can't do this with you. Oh, darling, I just had the best idea. Why don't you kick her out of the house? Oh, that's a genius idea, isn't it? Then it can really be just you and me. You don't need her anyway, now that your mommy's here. What the actual flippin' bozo is this all about? This is totally insane. Mom, you've gone crazy. Are you listening to me? Oh, hush now. I know you love me. I know you've been missing your mommy. I can wash your body in the bathtub like I used to. You like that, don't you? First of all, that's disgusting. Second of all, I believe that is called incest. And what you just said is illegal and wrong. Mom, please stop this. Oh, it's all right, love. No need to be embarrassed. I'm coming over soon, honey. Mom, I physically can't do this. I've moved. What's that? Anyway, you're my baby and always will be, Benny. You really don't need a wife so long as I'm here, okay? I'm 33. I'm an adult, perfectly capable to live away from you and Dad. I'm financially independent, married, and just totally fine without you, Mom. Not to be mean, but honestly, I don't need you. And like I said, I've moved. What do you mean? To where? I've moved out to Pittsburgh. You've moved? Yes, I've been trying to tell you I have. From Cleveland to Pittsburgh? Yes. Well, when did that happen? This year in February. I told you about it. Well, I hardly remember this. Well, I don't know. Now you know. But I've sent my boxes to your address in Cleveland. Well, you should have told me about all of this beforehand then, shouldn't you? Why didn't you call me or text me? Well, you never return my calls. Well, I thought this might be a nice surprise for you too, darling. I thought you'd be happy. Oh no. I told you that I would be moving months ago. I thought you were lying. Why would I lie about this? I know you're lying about all of this too. Are you serious? Why would I need to lie about this? So that you'll make sure that Claire doesn't see me. What the? Are you serious? Darling, I don't know where to start with this or what to think. Where am I supposed to go now? What am I supposed to do? Could you come and pick me up? From where? I'm not sure, but maybe I can find a mall nearby. Oh dear. What should I do? Please come here, darling. How? How do you expect me to get over there all the way from Pittsburgh? I don't know, darling. Oh no. What should I do? Okay, I'll just... what? I'm heading over to your house in Cleveland, so I'll be there soon. What are you talking about? I won't be there, remember? No. I know that's a lie. You haven't really moved to Pittsburgh, have you? Why would you move to a filthy place like that? I had to move there for work. I told you I have a new role now. I transferred to the office here. Everything is just easier if we moved here. It's closer to Claire's hospital, too. I don't believe any of this. Well, you have to. What's the point in explaining all of this? You're so delusional, Mom. Anyway, what about Dad? Why don't you get him to pick you up? Well, he doesn't know I've moved out. What? He doesn't know? What's going on between you two? Are you guys fighting? No, we're fine, darling. Then why doesn't he know that you've moved out of the house? Surely he would have noticed that your things have gone by now. I don't know. Why don't you ask him? This is insane. Just tell him now. That I've moved out of our house? But I have nowhere to go? Because apparently I can't move in with you? Yeah, have him pick you up wherever you are right now. Oh, he won't be bothered to do that. You know what your father's like. Oh no. Oh man. I'm almost there though. I'm on the bus, so I should get off at the next stop and then I can walk over to your house. Oh, I'm so excited to see your face, darling. OMG. Which part of me not being there don't you understand? You love me, don't you? Hold on a second. Is she there with you? What the? This is all her, isn't it? She's the one telling you what to tell me, isn't it? That's it. Oh, that evil cow. I hate her so much I can't stand it. I can't do this anymore. I've reached my limit. This is too much. You need to get help. I'm your mother, Benny. I have every right to protect you. You're making my life a living hell, Mom. That's what you're doing. Oh, darling, you know I love you. Look, okay. I spoke to Dad just now. He says he found your location on WhatsApp. Good thing you had that turned on. You told your father? Yeah, just stay where you are and don't move. Well, I told you I'm almost at your house. Darling, I'm here now. Open the door. I'm standing in front of your door, on what looks like a new doormat. I can't believe this. Can I come in, dear? Weren't you listening to anything I've been saying? I told you I moved, so I'm not there. Just open the door. Mom, Someone else is there now. That's someone else's house, not mine. Just leave before they see you. Darling, do you have a baby? Huh? What? No, Mom, I don't. Why? Well, I can hear a baby crying from inside. Oh, darling, is that it? Is this what you've been hiding from me all along? You have a baby! No. Stop this now. It's okay. Grandma's here to help. Ugh, for flippin' sake. Darling, the door was open, so I went inside. I don't see you around. Where are you? I'm coming upstairs. No, listen to me. Mom, get out of there now. Get out of that house now. Darling, you weren't inside. And now I've been pushed and shoved to the street outside your house. Oh my God. I don't understand. Who are these people? You've gone senile. Mom, for flippin' sake, just stay there. Dad's coming to pick you up soon. He won't be long. Just stay on the sidewalk and get off their property. That's not ours. Just stay somewhere safe where they can't see you. The last thing you want is for them to call the police on you, okay? Darling, the gentlemen from the police force are here. Oh dear. What did I do? Oh crap. Did Claire call them? No. She did, didn't she? That wicked, evil cow! Mom, calm down. Claire is with me and she hasn't called or spoken to anyone, okay? Do you want me to talk to them? I can explain this to them. Darling, they're talking to the couple that were inside the house and I think the mother is holding that baby. Poor thing. I'm just inside the car, texting you. Well, it's good you can still text. I thought they would have put you in handcuffs. Well, I'm inside a police car. What can I do? I can't go anywhere, so surely they know that I'm no harm to them, even if my hands are free. I'm sure they know I am innocent and just a passerby. What have you done? So what's happening there now? I gotta tell Dad this. They're still talking. So, you really don't live here anymore? No. So, you're not inside the house? No. I don't understand this at all. I just wanted to live with you. That's all, Benny. Mom, I don't know what to tell you. I feel like I'm a broken record. You need help, Mom. Oh, Benny. Pick up, darling. Please. I need your help, darling. I don't understand this. Benny, darling. They said they'll confiscate my phone and they're going to take me to the police station. Mom, maybe you need to clear your head out at the police station. Maybe they can help you. I'm all out of cards here. They can't do this to me, can they? Just go with them and don't argue with them. No, please, baby. Come and help Mommy. Mom, you are seriously delusional and crazy. The gentleman here is saying I'm arrested for breaking and entering. Well, I'm not surprised, Mom. I told you to get out of that house before they called the police. I didn't mean to, honey. I can't help you out, Mom. I can't get to you where you are even if I wanted to. I'm all the way in the next state. I've told Dad to come and help you, and that's all I can do. Oh, but darling. I have to go. I'm about to go crazy talking to you. Benny. My Benny. Mom, just leave me alone. I'm not a kid anymore. I know you love me, but this is just too much. I can't take it. Don't call me. You don't mean that, Benny. Benjamin! Bye, Mom. Benjamin! They're going to take my phone away from me! I decided to ignore all of my messages and calls from my mom. I couldn't take it. I swear if I spoke to her any longer than that, I was going to go nuts just like her. Dad went to pick her up with his car all the way to the police station and bailed her out. It's a good thing that the family who lived in my old house were nice enough not to press any other charges. Dad was totally mad that he's thinking to file for a divorce. I don't know if mothers can get this overbearing, but it was too much for me. It's probably a good idea to keep my mom at arm's length for a while.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like it and see you in the next one.
Hey, Max! Your brother, Gary's wedding really was wonderful, wasn't it? Yeah, it definitely was. The reception was absolutely spectacular, and I think my new sister-in-law was beautiful. Oh, I know. Wasn't she just gorgeous? I guess I shouldn't have expected anything less, considering she's the daughter of a company president. But not just any company. Gary's now married to the daughter of the huge corporation he's currently working for. Gary's really done a tremendous job this time. He's managed to snag quite the catch of a wife. Maybe even the best one ever. This again. Really, Mom? Honestly, up until the wedding, you've been going on and on about how he's marrying into some serious money. I thought that maybe you would focus more on how happy Gary is to be married now that the ceremony has actually happened. But you still seem to be fixated on that and that alone. Are you expecting Gary and his wife to be living with our family at your house? Think about it. Don't you think she'd prefer to go live at her family's house? Her family probably owns some mansion or whatnot that she'd prefer to live in. No matter how you look at it, our house probably pales in comparison to anything her family owns. You might think that, but I actually heard from the lady herself that she wanted to live here. So last month I thought I had to renovate the house somehow, even if I only had the time to fix up one room. Oh, you did then? Well, don't feel like you need my permission to use the space that used to be my room. Feel free to use it however you like. Well, of course. I figured you wouldn't mind if I did something to it. After all, it's not like you're living there anymore. You've been at that apartment that's close to your work for quite a while now. I didn't think you would really need to come back here anytime soon. So, I had the wall between your room and Gary's torn down so I could connect the two rooms together. Now it's one much larger room that the two of them can use together. I threw out all of your things, too. You did, huh? You just pitched everything without asking me about any of it. Well, I guess this is about what I expected from you anyway. Well, it really shouldn't come as much of a surprise. Where would I have kept it all? If you came home for a while, there wouldn't have been a place for you to sleep apart from the sofa anyway. You should just focus on being proud of how you can be in any way useful to your amazing brother. Gary and Brianna are enjoying their honeymoon right now, but when they get back, I'll need help cleaning up the house. Why am I not surprised you would say something like that? For as long as I can remember, you've only been doting on Gary and praising him for everything he's ever done. You seem to blindly focus on him so much that it frankly felt like you were spoiling him a bit. But I guess that somehow resulted in him managing to find a wife with an extremely wealthy family like Brianna, huh? Hey, I may be your mother, but I'm only human too, you know. It should be obvious that I direct my love more towards the better person, the one who had so much potential that could meet even the loftiest of expectations. Right. And I suppose being the top of my class doesn't mean a thing towards being better in your eyes then. Not even good enough. I guess Gary was just so amazing that even my greatest achievements were just overshadowed, huh? Top of your class? Is that right? I thought you were just an average run-of-the-mill child. Were you actually top of your class? That wasn't just some lie to get my attention, was it? Just about all of my test scores were in the 99th percentile. Oh, is that so? I guess that was something that didn't really stick in my memory. Sorry. It's far past the time that I would even care about whether you remember or not anyway. Frankly, I'd say it's better that you weren't all over me like you were with Gary anyway. That looked like it wasn't much fun to deal with. By the way, have you happened to find a girlfriend yet? Actually, yes. Her name is June. Oh, then you simply must bring her to see me sometime soon. I'll be sure to ascertain whether or not she's a woman worth marrying or not.
Unfortunately, I can't say I'm particularly inclined to do that. Sorry. I'm the younger son anyway, so just leave me be. Just focus on Gary like you always have been. If you care about the family legacy, he's enough. Also, that will keep me out of your hair while you're working to make the house as good as it needs to be for Gary and Brianna.
No, that just won't do. Gary may just be a standard employee right now, but he's probably going to end up as an executive sooner or later.
Yes, and I fail to see how that has anything to do with me.
Well, once he gets promoted, he's undoubtedly going to leave our house and go live in some fancy mansion or penthouse suite or something. So, once they leave, you and your future wife are going to have to be here to take care of me.
Excuse me? What, you're expecting June and me to just act as your caretakers? Save your money and move into a home if you're planning on being cared for later on in your life. There's all sorts of them out there, with plenty of different services available for all sorts of care, including care that I could never provide.
What? You should be the one paying that money, not me!
You're saying I alone should be paying for you to live someplace? That's ridiculous. If you're so intent on having someone else paying for you to live somewhere, why not try getting the money from your other son you love so much? As you have mentioned countless times, he did marry into quite a wealthy family, after all, not to mention his supposedly inevitable promotion. I'm only a simple employee at a small office. There's no way I'd be able to pay for something like that.
But Brianna's the only child in her family. She's already going to have her hands full when it comes to taking care of her parents. When the time comes that I need care, there's no way to know if Gary will have money to spare, even though he'll be wildly successful.
And so you expect the person who's making less money to somehow have enough to spare for you? That's just silly. I've had enough of this conversation. I'm off to bed.
Come on! Wait a minute, Max! Hey, Max. Last night, did you happen to be walking along Birch Street with a woman?
Mom, I live less than a block away from Birch Street. I walk along that street practically every day. What's wrong with that?
No, you don't understand. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not asking about whether you were walking on Birch Street. I'm asking about if you had a woman with you.
How do you even know about that anyway? Your house is quite a ways away from Birch Street.
I saw you while I was in the car on the way back from that high-class French restaurant that's near you. Gary and Brianna have finally settled in and things have settled down, so they held a huge party to thank me for my work.
Oh, that's nice. I guess you're finally getting to live the rich life of luxury that you always wanted, aren't you? How was the restaurant? Was it everything you dreamed it would be? I know how much you've always wanted to dine on fine French cuisine.
Oh, it was just spectacular. Every single dish they brought out was more delicious than I could have ever imagined. But we're getting off topic again. Were you or were you not with a woman as you were walking down Birch Street?
Yes, there was. Are you happy? You probably saw us as I was walking her to the train station. I've talked about her before. Remember how you were talking about how you wanted the two of us to be the ones to take care of you when you get older?
How old is she?
She's 26. What about it? We met in college. She was in the same class as me.
Wait, if you met her in college, don't you think it's been a long time since you've started seeing her? Why haven't you started making wedding plans yet? What have you even been doing all this time?
Gary's already had a fancy enough wedding for the both of us, so I wasn't in a hurry to get married myself. Knowing how much you prefer him, I figured that if I brought the idea up to you, I thought you might try to stop me from getting married before he did. Or are you telling me you would have been fine with that?
No, of course not! If Gary didn't get married first, everything will just end up a complete mess.
Of course, just as I expected. Clearly, it would have been better if I had just stayed quiet from the beginning. Anyway, I plan to marry her.
Don't tell me you've already proposed to her!
Well, I've already said some things to her that hint at what I'm thinking, but I haven't properly proposed yet, no.
You need to bring her over so I can meet her properly.
If we're talking about introductions, don't you think it's more important that I meet her family first? If we're going by old traditions, Usually the man is the one to ask the parents for their daughter's hand. Though, considering we're not living in those times, I'd say it's more like it's better that they know their daughter is in fine hands more than anything else.
And what if she ends up just bringing misfortune with her? I'm not saying it needs to be some formal introduction, just that she should come over for a little get-together of some kind.
And how do you think she would feel about me not even having a room there anymore? And what's this garbage about her bringing misfortune with her? What is she to you? A black cat walking under a ladder or something?
Don't be snippy with me. I mean, what if her parents are saddled with lots of debt? Or she ends up being utterly hideous or something? Or maybe it could be on the other side of the scale, and one of her relatives might be someone with lots of power and influence. Don't you think about that at all?
Well, first off, I can't believe that you would be just openly concerned about whether she's hideous or not. But more importantly, aren't those all things you just want to know yourself? I can't say I really care. She is pretty, her parents don't have debt, there's no problems.
You just don't understand, Max. Marriage isn't just about the two people getting married, you know that? It also involves two families coming together and really getting to know each other much better than before. It is extremely important to consider how the two families will interact with each other.
Okay, if that's the case, then how are things going in terms of our family and your precious Gary's super wealthy family that he married into? I'd say there's been a pretty negligible impact on our family's end, don't you?
Well, that's because all that matters is Gary managing to surpass his peers.
Oh, I see. Well then, let's see if I have this straight. I'll see if I can put it as plainly as possible. All you want to know is whether or not June's family either has lots of money or has connections to high society. Am I wrong?
Well, yes. I'd say that's pretty accurate.
You're really just admitting it? The only thing you care about regarding my hopefully future wife is whether or not I'm marrying into money like Gary?
Yes. If this June girl happened to be that sort of high-class woman, then I would stop being so concerned about it.
Do you even realize what you're saying? Look, June's family is better off than ours, socially and economically. Thanks to that, June grew up a bit sheltered, I'll call it. Anyway, is that enough info for you?
Then when's the ceremony going to be? When will I get to meet her family face to face?
I'll arrange for a time for you to meet her family, but I'm not about to go planning some big ceremony. The amount of money it would take for something like that would be better used saving it for the future, or perhaps investing it. That's what I'm planning to do.
Okay, that's it. You need to bring her here as soon as possible.
Yeah, no. Aren't you busy enough with all this business with Gary? I don't see why you need to be so concerned about my life. Just leave the two of us be.
Max, hold on. Max! Max, answer me already. I've got more to say about our conversation a few days ago.
What is it now, Mom? You really just can't let it go, huh? Well, what is it you want to talk about then?
You should know by now. It's about that woman you're seeing. You just said, leave us be, and stopped responding to any of my texts.
Of course, it's just all about June again. This is exactly why I told you to leave us alone. We are quietly seeing more of each other, slowly deepening our relationship. What's so damn important that you have to butt in about it again?
Where is she from? How tall is she? How much does she weigh? If she went to the same college as you, then I imagine she isn't lacking in intelligence, right?
Why do you even feel the need to ask all of this? You're going to be meeting her sooner or later anyway.
Then do as I asked you before and bring her here!
Sure, once we've filed our marriage registration.
No, that will not do at all. Don't go thinking you can just take such big steps like that on your own. You will bring her to me so I can make sure everything is all right.
Make sure? What's there to make sure of? This is my choice, not yours. Look, if it'll get you to leave me alone, I'll tell you as much as I know. She's from a small town upstate, she's 5 feet tall, and I don't know her weight, but she's thin. You better not ask me to get her to clarify that last one.
So, she's a cute little girl from some podunk town in the middle of nowhere.
What, so just because she's not from a big city, she's from the middle of nowhere? How could you even say something like that? On top of that, I do hope that cute little wasn't meant as a slight against her height. She's only a little short of the national average, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, isn't there? What are you going to do if she passes on her short genes to your children? If they grow up to want to play pro football or something, no matter what skill they have, they won't have the physical strength to make the cut.
Then they'll be short. If they grow up to want to go into sports, then we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But that doesn't matter right now. I think that's far from the first thing to be worrying about. I'd be surprised if that sort of problem even came up at all. Don't you think you're worrying way too much about this? You're going completely overboard here.
Well, look at Gary and Brianna as the comparison. Just look at all of the wonderful things about them. Gary's 5'11", while Brianna's 5'9". Gary's a great athlete and businessman, while Brianna is great both at tending a garden and playing piano. If you take Gary's smarts and strength and combine them with Brianna's beauty and skills, just imagine what kind of child could result from that. I just can't wait for the day where I get to meet my grandchildren.
So you really want to be called Grandma that much, huh?
That's not what I mean, and you know it.
Well, if you're so worried about what June's hobbies are, I know she can play piano at least. She's been forced to learn it for much of her childhood. It's not like she was aiming to go to a music school for her whole life or anything, though. She basically stopped practicing after middle school or so.
Ah, so she's been learning piano since she was little then? I suppose she might be a reasonably nice woman at least, then. It's a shame she wasn't learning something like violin instead. Then I could imagine her being a proper woman of class with a good upbringing.
What are you even talking about? Are you seriously saying you judge someone's social status based on what instrument they learned as a kid?
I'm not finished yet. Don't be rude. Anyway, how much does June make then? What sort of work does she do?
Well, at college, I was in the economics department, but she was in law. So right now, she's working hard as a newly licensed attorney.
What? She's licensed to practice law? I guess that is a point in her favor then. But still, don't forget that marriage isn't just between the two of you. It's two families joining together. Even if the woman in question is good, if her parents are worthless, then the wedding's not going to happen.
Right. So I guess that means this won't happen at all, right? Considering how you're the worthless parent in the equation here. Mom, did you say or do something to June? Don't try to tell me you don't remember.
No, I haven't really done anything. I only really wanted to look into something. So I sent her a letter. That's all.
So you have done something.
As for what I was looking into, it had to do with that little hayseed's hick hometown. She may be putting on the face of a lawyer, but a country bumpkin is still a country bumpkin.
Oh, wow. How scathing. I didn't expect this from you at all. Oh, wait, I did, because you haven't deviated from your apparent determination to badmouth my girlfriend and her family. Yes, her hometown is out in a more rural area, but I guarantee you her family is more well off than ours is. It's rich that you just keep going on and on with this talk.
Yes, I looked into her relatives too, and two of them seem to be representatives, sure. But they're representatives on a city council. Nothing with any weight. What power do they even have?
How should I know? I'm not trying to research how much power I'll get out of marrying a woman I love. That issue is entirely separate from my relationship with June. She's working here, and she'll be living with me here. Her parents' lives have nothing to do with this.
Look, you said earlier that they were well off, right? How can that possibly be? They're in a rural town. What could they possibly be rich from? Farming? I think you're just making it up to try to get me to stop looking into it.
What, so now you're going to start insulting farmers too? Do you have no shame? It's thanks to them that we can continue to have food to eat at all. There's nothing wrong with farming as a profession. And you are aware that there are wealthy farmers out there too, aren't you?
What? People who have just larger farms, you mean?
Yes. June's family is one of those. They have a giant farm and employ lots of staff, and they have state-of-the-art machines making things as efficient as possible as well. June isn't just some girl who grew up playing in the dirt while her parents were tilling fields. She is the daughter of a large farming conglomerate,
Okay. And is there anything else good about her?
What, so having a consistent supply of fresh vegetables isn't good enough for you? That's something even you could take advantage of.
Nope. Denied. You need to find another woman, as soon as possible. If you don't want to, I will be happy to find someone who I can set you up with.
Are you insane? What makes you think you have the right to make such a decision? You won't stop me from proposing to her. I plan to do so during our date tomorrow.
What? No, you can't do that. I won't allow it. If you don't do as I say, I will have no problem disowning you and taking you entirely out of my will. Understand? You won't have a family anymore. Max, you didn't do anything foolish today, did you? You didn't actually do something as stupid as propose to that dirty lawyer girl, did you?
Oh, Mom, thank you for asking. Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. Not only that, I'm currently at her family's house, and we're having a nice time drinking together.
You did what? You withdraw that proposal this instant and come right home. Now! I am your mother, and you will do as I say.
Oh, that's a laugh. You tell me to come back home when you've destroyed my room and threw out my things?
Did you forget what I told you yesterday? I told you that if you proposed to that bumpkin, I would disown you from the family. If you withdraw your proposal, I'll think about not following through with that threat.
Well, I very clearly defied your demand and proposed to June anyway. You're saying that daring to propose to a woman I love will result in being disowned? Do I have that right? Then go on, disown me. Do whatever you like.
I cannot believe how useless of a son you are. You are nothing compared to Gary.
Do you think you could stop comparing me to him already? Gary didn't marry Brianna because she was the daughter of a wealthy family. He married the woman he loved, and the woman he loved just happened to be the daughter of a wealthy family. That's all. To put it simply, he essentially got lucky. If you could even call it that. He probably would have married her if she hadn't sent to her name.
But she is wealthy. It's thanks to Gary's strengths that he got such a wealthy wife.
Look, Gary is a great businessman. I'll grant you that. However, I don't believe there's such a strength used when it comes to marriage. On top of that, marriage is between the two people getting married. The same goes for Gary and Brianna. You, Mom, have nothing to do with it.
You just don't know when to shut up. How could I have raised such a terrible child? I couldn't care less what you have to say. I'm telling you that you need to listen to me because I am your mother. Understand? All children need to do as their parents say.
Oh, do they now? It's a good thing you already disowned me then. Or at least you intend to. So, I have no reason to call you Mom anymore anyway. Carol. Give Dad my regards.
You complete imbecile! Go and drown in the mud with your filthy farm girl.
Yo, Carol! Have you been going to that high-class French place recently?
What's this all of a sudden? I'm pretty sure we've already severed ties as parent and child, haven't we?
Well, yeah, I was there. That said, it's not the end of the world to have some small talk with your acquaintance, Max, right?
My acquaintance, huh?
Anyway, have you been back to that place much?
I don't think this really matters to you at all, but I'll be nice and tell you. Recently, that restaurant has suddenly just up and closed until further notice. I can't imagine why. After all, I had made plans to go there with some of the neighbors, too. It seems like they just went and suspended business completely out of nowhere. It made me look terrible in front of everyone. Without that, I can't possibly show off how rich I am.
Wait, you're serious? You really were just going to a fancy restaurant just to show off how rich you were?
What else can I do now? There's nothing that fancy remotely close by. I desperately want to make a reservation there, but I have no clue if or when they will ever open up again.
Ah, that's unfortunate. It's a real pity, isn't it? But as a matter of fact, I happen to know why that restaurant suddenly closed.
What? Don't go mouthing off about things you don't understand. It's not like someone like you has ever been there before.
Sure, I may not have ever been in that restaurant, but I certainly know the flavors on offer. After all, the chef from that restaurant occasionally comes to June's house and cooks for us.
What? You're saying that that's why the restaurant hasn't been open for so long now?
No, of course not. June's father just calls the chef up sometimes and asks if he's free to come over and cook. The chef is paid, of course, but he likes coming because there are some ingredients he can only get his hands on here that are hard to get elsewhere. I suppose the most important part is that June's father and the chef have been good friends for a really long time, though. A number of the cooking staff at that restaurant are old friends of June's father, apparently.
What do you mean by ingredients that are hard to get? You're not making any sense.
A large amount of ingredients used by that restaurant, such as the cheeses and the vegetables, are produced by June's family's farm. Right now, they aren't selling a single thing to the restaurant, so it just can't open. If they buy those ingredients elsewhere, the flavor will be completely different.
They aren't selling ingredients to the restaurant. Why in the world aren't they? That just causes problems for the restaurant and its customers. What a malicious farm to just suddenly stop selling their produce.
If you take back and formally apologize for every disparaging remark you've made about June and give your blessing to our wedding, then they might consider starting to sell ingredients to that restaurant again.
What?
Also, I don't believe the shop is really having too much trouble at the moment, actually. June's father apologized for wrapping the restaurant up in his family's affairs, and has been paying them himself until they resume business. The chef I mentioned earlier also heard about the situation, and it sounds like he was fully on board with the plan.
Why do I have to be the one to make an apology? I was never even given the opportunity to meet June, nor her family. Oh, hold on. I just got a message from Brianna's mother, actually. I don't have the time to deal with you right now.
Oh boy, this should be good.
Hey, Max. Look, there's some things I really need to apologize to you about, as your mother.
What's this all of a sudden? I have a bad feeling about it, though. My not-so-dear acquaintance, Carol. If you're worried about the restaurant being able to buy ingredients again, their business should be resuming tomorrow.
Please, Max. Please call me Mom again. I was just joking about the whole disowning you thing. I'll take the whole thing back, I promise.
Well, this is a surprise. What happened to bring about this drastic change of heart? Did you also happen to come to hear some startling information?
Startling information? Well, I heard that Brianna's family was strongly indebted to June's.
Yes, that does seem to be the case, doesn't it? When Brianna's father's company had only just gotten established, their very first investors were June's family. They made pretty large investments, too. Only thanks to that initial investment was that company able to grow and flourish into the corporation it is today.
I heard about how Mr. Mayo was one of the biggest investors in the company and that such a position granted him a large degree of voting power.
Oh, I don't think I remember telling you June's last name. Actually, I'm pretty sure I did my best to avoid doing so. Did you look it up or something?
I heard it from Brianna's mother. She told me that if Mr. Mayo got mad, things would quickly go south for the company. So she begged me not to irritate him.
So by go south, you mean that Mr. Mayo might motion for a vote of no confidence in the current president at the next shareholders meeting? That current president being, of course, Brianna's father.
From what I understand, Mr. Mayo originally studied law before going into agriculture, so he's well aware of the power he holds. He could buy enough stock to take control of the company and make it into a subsidiary of his own. At least, that's what Brianna's mother is telling me. If he does that, he'll gain total control, and who knows what will happen to Brianna's father once that happens. And even worse, if Mr. Mayo is angered further, Gary's whole career will vanish on the spot.
Oh, wow. So you're telling me that Gary's company, the company you were extolling Gary for getting such a high position in, could become a subsidiary of a filthy farming company that you seem to hate so much? That's absolutely hysterical. That means Brianna, the daughter of a wealthy family that you love so much, will lose all of the money you've been benefiting from.
Please, I'm begging you. Please forgive your foolish mother. I want to take back everything I said about disowning you. Of course I'll approve the wedding between you and June as well.
I'm afraid it isn't quite that simple. Sure, I'm happy that you are finally willing to accept my marriage, but your formal apology comes first, doesn't it, Carol? You can't have forgotten all of the terrible things you said about the woman who's going to become my wife, can you?
I may have said something about her being from a small town, yes.
Oh no, I'm not letting you sugarcoat your own harsh words. You called her a filthy country bumpkin who wasn't worth anything as a wife. You said that, lawyer or not, she was still a country bumpkin and that I should drown in the mud with her. Now, I don't particularly care what you say to me, but you deeply insulted the people who work hard every day to supply food to this whole region. And you also made light of June being a lawyer, when she graduated top of her class and is a splendid lawyer working at a very reputable firm. How about we file a defamation suit against you, with Mr. Mayo and his family as the plaintiffs? How does that sound?
Please, wait. Stop with all of these crazy jokes of yours. You're just trying to shock your poor old mother with this kind of talk, right?
You told me that if I proposed to that bumpkin, you would disown me, remember? If that's the case, then I will be adopted into June's family as their son-in-law. How about we do a hostile takeover of the company Gary's working for then? Mr. Mayo is famous in this area. It should go without saying that he has more than enough power and money to do so.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. If that happens, I won't be able to show my face in front of Brianna's parents ever again.
I don't see why that should matter to me. It's not as if the reputation of someone I'm not related to matters to me in the slightest to begin with. From Mr. Mayo's house, the only scenery I can see is a seemingly endless array of fields and greenhouses. I can see mountains on the horizon as well. The kind of farming that goes on here is far beyond the pitiful scale you try to attribute it to, Carol.
Are you telling me you intend to inherit Mr. Mayo's business?
Well, I can't say for sure. June still holds the right to succeed the business, but she would have to choose to abandon her law career. So, if they wish me to, I will study everything I possibly can about agriculture and agricultural law so I can fulfill the role. That said, June also has a younger sister that's studying economics and agriculture, so I would say she's the likely successor at this point. Besides, what does it matter to you? What problem could you possibly have with the son you disowned taking up a career in agriculture?
I'm so sorry. Please, I'll take back the disownment. I was being so shallow, thinking that being a farmer equaled being poor and other such horrible things. If I don't get this whole disownment matter voided and get Mr. Mayo to forgive me, we're all going to be finished.
Is that so? Are you saying you will actually apologize to June for everything you've said then?
Of course. If possible, I would like to meet their whole family in person and formally apologize as your mother.
Oh, is that so? If you're actually serious, I might consider calling you Mom again.
Oh, really, Max? You'll forgive me. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much.
Well, I might be in a forgiving mood, but I don't know if Dad will.
Huh?
Did you know that I graduated at the top of my college class? I might have mentioned it before as well, but it wouldn't shock me if you forgot. I wasn't exactly aiming for big companies to work for afterwards, though.
Wait, did you really have that good of grades?
Yes. Dad took me out drinking to congratulate me on my achievement, too. Gary gave me a bit of money from his salary as a graduation gift as well. And you tell me that you had no idea, huh? That's a shame.
I'm so sorry. I only ever paid attention to Gary. Even though the two of you were brothers, it was horrible to treat the two of you so differently.
Well, frankly, I think that avoiding your attention turned out pretty well for me, as it made my life a lot easier. Right. It has gotten pretty late. But Dad told me that he needs to talk to you.
Huh? Oh, yes, he really did send me something. What could it be?
It might end up being quite a shocking talk. I suggest you calm down and listen to what he has to say. Now that I think of it, it wasn't just me. You actually neglected Dad quite a bit as well, didn't you? I don't think I've heard you mention him in a long time, except for when I brought him up.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me. Separated or not, parents are still connected to their children, aren't they?
What do you mean by that? Don't tell me you mean what I think you mean.
Thankfully, I managed to marry June without further trouble. It was a small affair, where we basically only took some photos and little else. The wedding may have been simple, but June and I couldn't be happier. As for the fate of Gary and his wife Brianna's family's company, things have managed to return to a state of normalcy. No hostile takeover required. And my mother, who spent her life as a mother focused on her first son, his wedding to a wealthy bride and little else, she finally provoked my mild-mannered father's wrath, and after a long marriage, they finally ended up divorcing. She did everything she could to control her sons, and it all ended in abject failure. From what I understand, my father had been suffering a long buildup of stress and anger caused by her. Anyway, my mother couldn't go to her parents' old house, so now she is living with one of her siblings in another state. I actually had known about the whole divorce plan ahead of time, thanks to my father briefing me on everything. I hope he's finally got some of that stress out of him now that everything's over with.
Thank you for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment. New videos are released every day, so subscribe to see the latest videos.